What if the next time you had a family get together, whether you're sitting around the campfire or some other type of setting, maybe waiting for dinner to cook and wondering, what should I do with everybody? If you took out your guitar and started to play a few of your favorite songs for people, makes a great icebreaker, a great communication and relational tool. Learning to play the guitar actually makes the top 10 list of many people's accomplishments, yet not knowing how and where to turn can really send people away in fear. With a handful of common chords, though, and some proper technique, it might not be as hard as you think. I've played acoustic guitar for 20 years now, and even taught in a music store setting and in elementary school settings. I really enjoy it. I lead worship on guitar nearly every week, and I've learned to keep things pretty simple and focus really on three things that I want to help show you today, hopefully make things a little bit more understandable, in hopes that you learn, even though learning to play guitar can seem overwhelming, starting with a solid approach by knowing a few chord patterns, understanding fingering technique, and keeping good time can really ease the pain and simplify the process. So, with this in mind, let's look together at three key points. Being comfortable with your guitar is a good place to start. If you're already awkward with it and don't know how to hold it, that in itself can even be a little overwhelming. So what I tell students usually is to just sit down with the guitar, put it on your lap, and get it held in front of you like this. Or if you want to buy a strap like I have, this makes it pretty easy too. Most guitars have strap locks on them and you can just hook a strap right to it. This puts everything in a great spot for you to reach, and you can stand and play like I am. Since I'm right-handed, my right hand is going to be the one that strums actually the strings, and my left hand is going to fret the chords on the fretboard. They make left-handed guitars, if you might need that, but for today's purposes, we're going to stick to this right-handed model. Each one of the silver bars going across the fretboard here, if you notice those are called frets. So when you push down in between on any string, that's actually what changes the pitch of your string. And as you're moving and playing chords, that's how the different sounds come out. And you can put all these things together to make those harmonious chords. One of the things you want to make sure to do is keep your thumb firmly planted on the back of the fretboard so that you have good opposing force. And you want to make sure when you put your fingers down on the fretboard that you're pushing really close to these little silver bars, to the frets. Not on top of them, but pretty close, because the closer you get, the better the tone is going to be, and that's just good technique to get us started, make us feel a little more confident. So next we're going to look at putting all this together to create a chord. So chords are typically a combination of three or more notes with a particular music scale that are strummed or played together simultaneously. Here we see that a few simple chords are all we need for most songs. Actually, if you start looking at a lot of your favorite songs right now, there's maybe only 4 or 5 chords throughout the whole thing. So once you get an idea of the patterns, it's actually pretty easy. For the ease of this presentation, I'm going to number our fingers and strings so that we kind of know what we're doing here. So we're going to number our fingers 1 through 4, with our left index finger being number 1, 2, 3, and our pinky will be 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our strings are going to be numbered 1 through 6, with the thinnest string on the bottom being number 1, and as we go down 2, 3, 4, 5, and the thickest one on the top near us is going to be string number 6. Finally, our frets are going to be numbered as well, from the headstock, which is this, towards the body of the guitar. So as we move up, we're going to be at fret number 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so on, all the way up towards the sound hole. So let's begin with our first chord here. I want you to start by taking our first finger, this one again, the index finger, and put it on the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. So that's going to be right here. Again, you want to make sure that your thumb is pushing in the back really well, and that you're putting good force down, and try to get pretty close to that fret. Again, it's going to give a good sound. Now we're going to take our 2nd finger right here, and we're going to put it at the 1st string at the 2nd fret. So what we have is first and second fingers on the third and first fret string, at the second fret, and then finally we're going to add our third finger here at the third fret on the second string. So this is the D pattern. And then the next thing all we have to do as we're forming this is think about the strum. So this is our final piece. Correct strumming requires graceful movement and some timing. It's not difficult, but you want to make sure you're doing things the right way. For a nice crisp sound and consistent feel, I prefer using a pick like this one. Picks come in a lot of different shapes and even weights. This one's pretty thin. It's actually nice and thin. It's got a good bend to it, and it makes a nice feathery sound as I go across the strings. I prefer these. They're really nice. So holding the pick between your thumb and your forefinger in your right hand, we're going to start at the 6th string, again this top heavy string, and just move down. Nothing on right now on the fretboard, but just we're going to move down, hitting each string in a nice flowing movement. So just like that. Okay, that's a down strum. Every string should be hit and ring out. You don't want to really dig into your strings. You just want to kind of let your pick float across them in a nice feathery movement. So some chords, certain ones like the D chord that we're playing here, only require that you play a few strings at the time instead of all 6 of them. The D string, or the D chord, actually is only going to be 5 of these strings. So we're going to start at the 5th string and strum down through the 1st string for our D chord. So you ready? Nice firm grip up here again, and we're just going to take 1 strum down. Okay? Notice the difference in sound between open strings like this and then that D chord. Kind of nice, right? Okay, so by, again, only learning a few basic chords and moving between them, keeping our fret patterns nice and tight, even pressure, and a nice strum, we can actually begin to play quite a few favorite songs. So I'm just going to play a couple chords right now and let you listen to what it is I'm talking about. So, as we wrap up our thoughts, I hope that this presentation has helped you find that, again, even though learning to play the guitar can seem overwhelming, starting with a solid approach by knowing a few chord patterns, understanding proper technique, and working on some good timing with your strumming can really help to simplify the process. It takes the pain out quite a bit. Remember that being comfortable and knowing your chords along with a good strumming technique and timing will get you up and playing for your family and friends in no time. Nothing brings people together like music, and learning to play the guitar can create relational opportunities in your life for years to come. Thank you.